So in this video, I wanted to spend a few minutes talking about this fountain pen ink cleaner kit from Platinum. I think it's a relatively new kit. It's sold in European and Japanese varieties. And I recently picked it up to test it out, but also to clean some fountain pens, as you might have guessed. A lot of my fountain pens have been lying fallow for a couple weeks on end, maybe in some months in some cases, and I thought it'd be good to give it a deep clean. I almost always clean my fountain pens only with some warm water and just kind of a pipette or like one of those ear cleaner things, nose cleaner, blue bulbs everyone uses. But some people have been talking about fountain pen ink cleaner kits, and I bought this one a few months ago, and I finally wanted to talk about it here. There are others, but again, this one seems like it's been picking up steam, and I generally like Platinum, so I figured I would buy this. I bought this on eBay, I think, for maybe like $10. I wouldn't have really spent more than that, I don't think. So it's cardboard package. Again, it's European size. It also comes in a Japanese style, which has all Japanese writing, but then I think some of the internal parts are a little bit different. Here we have the instructions. Again, one side is in Japanese, the other side is in English, and we kind of run through how to use it, but then also what you get. So it's 5 packets of cleaner and one little pipette. They call it a dropper, which is not technically accurate, but it's close enough. This is that. It's a little rubber pipette. This is for flushing the ink cleaning fluid or just water through. And this will be useful after you use this stuff, but you don't want to spend $10 on this, right? It's probably worth like a penny. And it's quite small. It's maybe, 5 milliliters or so. Not too much bigger. Here are the packets. And they are, it's actually not filled with powder, but it's filled with liquid. So you have to be really careful when you open this. You want to avoid contact with your body and your eyes and stuff like that. So you want to mix 100 milliliters water and soak nib into the water, in the water for a whole day. With an attached syringe, please wash away with pure water. So basically, this is the cleaning fluid, and then you're going to flush it with this or then with your standard bulb. The rest of the instructions aren't too much more robust. Put it in the warm water, 100 milliliters, soak it for a day, and then some cautions. Avoid sunlight, hold nib upward, stuff like that. Nothing too surprising. So basically the thing to think about this is it's for deeper cleans. You're not gonna do every clean with this, but this pen's been sitting around for a while. This is a Waterman Karen. I wanted to give it a good clean, especially since I'm not gonna be using it for a few weeks, so I've been using it for, I'm probably not gonna use it for a while, so I've been using it for a few months. So I have some paper cups here. Usually I use plastic, but I couldn't find anything. So I'm going to drop the nib in. It's already been written dry. I removed the refill and I'm going to plunk it in. I'm gonna have to probably give it a shake to get the water bubbles out, the air bubbles out rather. And I'm even going to pre-flush it a little bit. You can see this piece fits in here. And it's really not a great fit. But if you push down, it's not sealing here, it's sealing at the bottom because this piece right here is roughly the shape of a European kind of standard refill, like a standard international cartridge. So give it a few flushes, plunk this in, which now I know the air bubbles are removed from the top of the grip, but also kind of like the top aperture, but then also removed from the feed itself, which is where you don't want air bubbles, so that air won't get cleaned. And now, looks like a little rip line. There's a little rip there. I'll open it over the thing, and it looks just like a clear fluid. It looks a little bit, maybe slightly more viscous than water. Maybe not, it's a little bit hard to tell. No discernible smell, which is reassuring. Sometimes if these things smell too strong, they could be a little bit concerning. Especially with a more expensive pen, you don't want to, peel the enamel off of an expensive pen just because you spent a few bucks to get a nicer cleaning solvent. Anyway, so I'm gonna give this a full day and see how it goes. Okay, so it's about 24 hours later and the pen has been sitting and now it's time to be removed from that dirty water. So we'll just give it a look and see how we did. Water's definitely dirty, but the pen looks to be in good shape. This would be my first test using a new solvent like this. Did any enamel look damaged? Does this look tarnished? Is the rubber, the O-rings, are they in good shape? Just because you don't know how strong that solvent is. Again, it didn't really have much of a smell and it looked a little bit soapy. So between a soapy look and a very light smell, I wouldn't expect it to be super strong. Plus it's made by Platinum, who makes a lot of really nice and also plastic pens or resin pens. So I doubt it would eat a pen, especially a metal pen like this Waterman. But again, you always want to be careful with this sort of thing. So a quick visual inspection. This actually looks great. This is an older pen. It had a lot of grime built up around this integrated nib, kind of like hard to reach areas up here, which you don't want to brush it. It definitely, like a brush would get caught in this nib, between the nib and the body itself. So it looks really great. It has a really nice shine. I'm actually kind of surprised how nice it looks. Over here, everything looks really nice and clean. Not that a lot of ink got on the threading or anything, but nice looks there. Not too much to see inside the pen. But again, really, really nice shine. This looks like a very much improved pen, so I'm very happy with that. Next step would be to give it a quick wipe down, give it a shake to get any of the excess moisture out of there. What you don't want to do is start blowing it clean with something like this without having shaken it first, because you'll just get big drops like that and that'll just get stuck in the feed and you'll have to just keep pushing the air out longer and longer and longer. So this is not really sealing that well. That's why people use those big bulbs, and I'll link to one in the comments below. Those bulbs will seal right here, and when you push, you'll actually be pushing air through the feed, which will really get any sort of water or liquid that's in there out. And we know this one's not sealed and really not doing a good job because you don't see any little bubbles or little droplets of water coming out of the feed, or like out of the breather hole or out of the nib itself. That's fine. People were able to do this before. Fun little plastic things like this were available. So we just know this one is pretty useless. It's weird because this is a standard European pen. It uses a standard international cartridge, and this is designed for international, standard international European pens. So yeah, even if I push really hard, it's not doing the job. So that's too bad. Anyway, so what you could do now is just apply some pressure here. Very light pressure, but pressure nonetheless. We'll see there's a little bit of color here. That means the cleaning solvent didn't do a perfect job pulling all the ink, the dye or pigment or whatever you have, out of the feed, and some of it gets trapped. That's the job of a feed, so it's not surprising. And the solvent that you're using, whatever you're using to clean, whether it's water or something harsher than that, it's not dissolving and destroying the particles of whatever's in there. It's really just trying to loosen them and flush them through. So to get this really clean, it's not a matter of just using a solvent, drying it out, and then you're done. You also want to flush some water through there, which I'll do in a separate step. But seeing that this is black, not clear, means it's not perfectly clean. Again, which shouldn't be surprising, but there is an extra step. And Platinum probably doesn't say that. They probably just say, yeah, I guess they just say rinse with clean water. So that's what I'll do in the next step. I'll rinse with clean water. And that rinse, which you would do anyway, even without doing some sort of cleaner, will go more smoothly, or should go more smoothly, with having done the cleaning in a solvent like this. So I'll do that and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm back with a cup of clean water, an empty cup, and one of those bulbs. This one I cut down a little bit to fit into European pens a little bit better. Anyway, this isn't going to be ideal since usually we would do this in a sink, not on a desk, but if you bear with me, we'll see how it goes. So here's the pen. It's been doing, just doing a couple little blotting maneuvers right here. Still a little bit wet, still ink is coming through black as we saw a second ago. And what the basic process is gonna be, again, this is like 1,000 times easier in a sink, is you wanna get clean water, put it in your bulb, and now flush that water through the pen. And I've done some videos about cleaning fountain pens, so this won't be a shock if you've seen those. This piece fits in pretty securely at the top, and you wanna just push, and don't push too hard. You don't wanna hurt any internals of the pen. And the seal isn't perfect. Again, I'm trying not to make a giant mess of my desk, but basically what happens is the water comes out of the bulb and flushes through the pen and comes out of the nib. Some will come out of that little breather hole there, and that sort of stuff. But that's the basic point. I'm using warm water, no soap or anything like that in there. And the bulb it's actually has a really good volume. So within one bulb, you are getting many cartridges worth of ink through. Again, it's a huge bulb relative to the size of the pen. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, the point here is that this is not quite clear yet, but nearly clear. And that's with just the one bulb through. Usually you would have to flush through, 5 of these bulbs quick, like at least 5 of the bulbs to get to this level of clarity. And the ink I used was a Schneider standard office ink, Schneider, whatever they call their standard office ink. And it cleaned out really well. So at this point, you could definitely start using this pen. You don't have to keep flushing. Some people like to go until it's totally clear, but that's really not necessary. So I guess the point is that from what I can tell, and I've cleaned out a number of this pen and then a number of other pens that are using this Schneider ink, is that because of that overnight soak in the platinum solvent, the pen actually cleaned out very easily. And again, now it's completely clean as a result of that. The open question for everyone out there is, if you were just leave it in water for 24 hours, would it be as clean? Probably not, but would it be clean enough? In that case, yeah, I would say almost certainly. So unless you have a pen that's really has stuck on grime and is really difficult to clean, I don't think you need to go ahead and move. I would not recommend using any sort of cleaning tool or cleaning solvent or liquid or anything like that. Basically, like if you find a pen in the back of your desk drawer and it's been sitting and it's dried out, it's been like that for a month or a year, and you just don't feel like water is going to do the job, then go right ahead and get yourself like a platinum or similar cleaning packet. I know some people use a little bit of bleach or something like that. I never feel that comfortable with those DIY solutions. I think they're fine, but I generally don't have access to bleach, and it's just not great to use with some more sensitive components. So I'd rather spend, I think this was maybe about $1.50, $2 per packet. And for as rarely as I need these things, it's nice to leave it up to the professionals. So here is the pen, the nib rather. I think it looks great. I think none of the nib or the body was damaged, which is the most important part. And it is completely clear now. So really all there's left to do is to let it sit upright, wrapped in a paper towel like this for another couple hours and make it sure it's completely dry, and then the pen is good to store. So that is a quick look, or maybe not so quick, look at the Platinum fountain pen ink cleaner kit that I bought. Again, costs like 10, 12 bucks. Definitely not necessary for every time you clean your pen, but when you need to do a deep clean, it seems to do the job really nicely. Thanks for watching.